The last 2 decades have seen a remarkable shift in the balance of economic power throughout the world, and the emergence of China and the BRICS countries have been the primary forces behind this. Now, the organization structure and procedures have grown more formalized and institutionalized. They've even held frequent conferences and formed organizations to work together. And many analysts are concerned that its rising influence might lead to normalizing authoritarian types of state capitalism. But just recently, BRICS just announced its new and insane master plan to finally shut down the US dollar, and it shocks the entire world. Hey everyone, welcome back. Before we talk more about it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Tech Revolution. So if you're ready, then let's begin. Now, Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, made a profound statement during the recent BRICS Business Forum, and it was revealed that the multilateral member nations were working on creating a new international reserve currency. This happens when Russia is under unprecedented worldwide sanctions because of the invasion of Ukraine. And given Putin's declaration, it's clearer than ever that understanding the varied goals of the BRICS countries is crucial. Now, they hope this will not only ease commerce amongst the BRICS nations in their own currencies, but also protect their national financial interests on a global scale. Now, the first BRICS nation is Brazil, and its biggest trading partner is China. So doing bilateral transactions in local currencies is advantageous for both countries. However, Brazil's reliance on the US currency is not concealed. This is because over 90% of Brazil's export invoicing is done in dollars. And this is occurring even though the United States only buys 17% of Brazilian products. Now, due to this discrepancy, the Brazilian government may be prompted to back the creation of a BRICS reserve currency. Lula da Silva, Brazil's ex-president, has spoken out against the dollar's dominance in the country's economy. As a result, he advocated for the de-dollarization coalition to the BRICS. He also claimed that the BRICS were formed for offensive rather than defensive purposes. However, with the country's catastrophic economic crisis in 2014 and the establishment of the Bolsonaro administration, Brazil's stance on the de-dollarization considerably deteriorated. Bolsonaro's leadership in Brazil has become more aligned with the West, and there has been inconsistency in its backing for a BRICS reserve currency. Given its tight economic ties to China and reliance on the US dollar, Brazil is unlikely to take the lead in any BRICS efforts to de-dollarize. Nonetheless, it understands that it may gain from these kinds of actions, and the reason for this is that it can streamline its business dealings with China and other major economies such as India and Russia. For Russia, the country has long sought to use BRICS to promote de-dollarization due to the benefits this strategy would bring to its geopolitical goals. And after Russia-Ukraine conflict in early 2022, Russia was nearly cut off the Western-led dollar-dominated financial system. In fact, this event bolstered the idea of an alternative non-Western monetary system. The Putin government favored de-dollarization measures to lessen Russia's reliance on the US dollar. And late in 2018, they planned to do this by restricting international settlements and shifting to alternative currencies. Now, on several occasions, President Putin has stressed preserving Russia's economic independence and de-dollarizing the country further. Sergei Ryabkov, Russia's ex-deputy foreign minister, has also spoken out about the country's concerns with the dollar as an international currency. He even emphasized how important it is to do so to reduce their reliance on it. In addition, he disclosed that the BRICS members were prepared to work together to support improvements in international financial regulations. Plus, they were ready to challenge the monopoly of the world's few reserve currencies. Now, while the United States is at odds with both Russia and China, it views India as a crucial ally and strategic partner in the Indo-Pacific. The Indian government views the reduction of dollar usage as an ideological rather than realistic goal for China and Russia. In addition, India has not stated that it backs efforts by BRICS to undermine the dollar's dominance. Moreover, the recent military standoffs between India and China further discouraged India from backing China's aspirations to dethrone the dollar. Although this somewhat captures India's perspective on the US dollar's preeminence, it does not do so on its whole. In fact, several strategies to lessen the country's reliance on the US dollar have been considered in the past. For instance, in 2012, a group was assembled by India's Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and the group's purpose was to examine the potential of using the Indian rupee in a two-way commerce between India and other countries. In particular, using the rupee in commerce with oil-exporting countries is a suggestion they endorsed. Furthermore, India is encouraging more people to use the rupee for foreign transactions. And this is in response to currency instability and geopolitical developments like the US oil sanctions on Russia and Iran and China's attempts to internationalize the RMB. Now, India is one of the most dollarized countries when it comes to trade invoicing. However, rising global currency volatility encourages it to move away from the dollar. Now, this presents a dilemma because 5% of India's imports come from the United States, while 86% of India's imports are invoiced in US dollars. Similarly, India invoiced 86% of its exports in US dollars, even though only 16% of Indian exports went to the US. India is not expected to have formal involvement in any BRICS initiative to lessen the US dollar's clout. It can aid in reducing reliance on the dollar by bolstering efforts to increase the use of regional currencies in commercial and financial transactions. In China, the government has been outspoken in its opposition to the dollar's dominance. However, Chinese leaders have prepared a detailed strategy to undermine the yuan's position as the world's de facto reserve currency. Now, the deterioration of ties between the US and China has shed light on the power of the US dollar. These obstacles have prompted China to move away from the international order dominated by the United States. And the BRICS nations might also help them establish a zone of influence. China's position as the world's largest trade partner makes it ideally suited to promote de-dollarization on a local, national, and global scale. And China plays a significant role in the development of finance of various Asian and African nations. The country has also internationalized the yuan via the Belt and Road Initiative in outside markets. According to a Chinese official, the 2008 financial crisis revealed the fundamental weaknesses and systemic hazards in the international monetary system. And he advocated the establishment of a global reserve currency independent of any country's economy. Hu Jintao, China's previous president, he also said that the dollar-dominated international monetary system is a relic of the past. And by separating the roles of a few countries' currencies as a worldwide reserve currency, he also argued for the necessity of global change. He went so far as to call it a potential threat to global monetary stability. Now, after seeing the success of the dollarization programs in Russia and China, South Africa has decided to do the same. However, they did not actively push or develop any plan of their own. After the end of apartheid in 1991, the United States eased its sanctions against South Africa, which greatly improved the country's ties. However, South Africa is aware of the global currency fluctuations and is working on a de-dollarization strategy. The South African Trade and Industry Minister voiced concern over currency fluctuations at the 2011 BRICS conference. He also mentioned the reliance on foreign currencies, which he warned might be volatile. Moreover, he stressed the importance of creating mechanisms to settle trade in local currencies during the 2013 BRICS meeting. He proved that fluctuations in developing nations' currencies are directly impacted by the state of the global economy. And since they don't set prices, they are essentially price takers vulnerable to currency risk due to factors outside their control in the broader economy. Beyond the BRICS, the inability of emerging countries to ensure their own economic security is a major source of worry. And just recently, South Africa approved the broader usage of the Chinese yuan and to spread out the company's exposure to currency fluctuations. It even included the currency in its foreign exchange reserves. Now, the BRICS nations have shown collaborative efforts and want to alter the dollar-based financial system. Russia and China are taking the lead in the dollarization efforts within BRICS to protect their own economies, while South Africa, India, and Brazil have all backed BRICS calls for a new international monetary order. They also concur that more should be done to facilitate international trade using local currencies. Moreover, all BRICS countries have taken measures to lessen their reliance on the US currency and increase their financial independence. However, it is not yet known if all BRICS members are willing to commit foreign reserves to establish this new area of influence. Now, each member of the BRICS group has expressed interest and committed resources to the dollarization. Moreover, they intend to diversify to lessen their exposure to external shocks resulting from the US dollar. So what do you think of the BRICS master plan and individual plans to shut down the US dollar? Do you think it will work? I want to know your thoughts on this, so make sure to drop them down in the comments section below. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching till the end. Before you go, make sure to like and subscribe and click the notification bell to trigger YouTube's algorithm and see more of our videos on your homepage. Thanks for watching and see you next time for more interesting videos like this.